Thank you, Andrew.
I think it presents some insights and allows you to kind of think about the way that things are running in Google ads, in Facebook ads, sorry, and give what's going on more context. I don't know if there's an account that anybody wants to volunteer for this. It's what I want to do.
I'll say this first.
All right.
King guys. Ooh, wow.
Okay.
Do that.
Ooh, 2 votes.
All right.
Simon, you're the breaking vote. Yeah, no, but he lost.
It's complicated, King guys.
Your choice, Brendan.
So I guess, Avery, if you could provide a little bit of context about what's going on historically, if there's anything that I should be thinking about distinctly, any products that have really fallen off in terms of performance.
Yeah. Can you move to the campaign section? Just hard. I don't.
Yeah.
Easier for me
to look at. I was looking at something.
What do I think? There's a lot of historical data. I haven't done a conversion tracking on in a while, so I'm curious if that's something you want to start with. But we had used another app to set this up a while back. In terms of, actually, did we use it? I don't know what we did. But in terms of actual results, yeah, we were just retargeting at some point was getting 6-7x. Now it's getting 2-3. Dynamic performed really well during some recent sales where we were pushing a lot of budget, pushing 1,000, 2,000 a day, and just the dynamic campaigns are running well. So I've continued to push them. We've done some there's one called we have been running engagement campaigns, just those are paused, I think, right now. That was the most recent campaign just because they weren't looking for purchases over January because they were just way behind in shipping. So that's something to keep aware of. That January, we're not pushing purchases. We're trying to just gain awareness and engagement on ads. So we were running that type of campaign. But then we switched that back in February to conversion focused. The basic funnels is just, there's a couple of prospecting campaigns, a couple of remarketing campaigns. The ad sets are split out, to different types of remarketing audiences, engagers of the page, engagers of the site. But the main core audience is, ignore the traffic ones, the store, please, for now. It's just sitting there for whatever other purposes. But acquisition is, again, acquisition, new audiences. I've gone pretty broad.
So you have a middle of funnel going on here, I assume, with this social engagement for remarketing. Is this a middle of funnel pushing users down the funnel?
This is
or is this
that was trying to get people to follow. That was trying to get people to follow them on social.
Okay. Was that was that in terms of your overall is that in terms of your overall strategy, or was that a different initiative driven by the client?
That was because December, January, again, we were way behind. We had too many purchases during Black Friday, so we're just trying to look at different engaging initiatives. So we're trying to increase follower count. So that's how we ran that.
Okay.
Avery.
Yes,
quick question.
Yeah.
When you said the DPAs were going well, was that both for prospecting and remarketing?
Yes. Not recently.
DPAs, is that dynamic prospecting ads?
Yeah.
Dynamic product.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, don't assume anything is set up correctly.
Okay. So based off the catalog. Okay.
Don't assume anything is set up correctly. Just keep that in mind.
All right. So I'm gonna just because you mentioned conversion tracking, I'm just gonna go and test. Should be relatively quick.
I just saw 4.8. That looks pretty bad.
That's actually pretty good.
Oh.
Weird thing is with event match quality, there's never a decent one, which is surprising that uses a 4.8. I've only seen 3s and 7s or 8s, which is interesting. I don't know exactly why. I assume it's just because of parameters that they're able to match with outside of the standard events. Okay. This isn't the main website. This is an organic listing.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So it's redirected to Neiman Marcus. I don't know why. All right.
You might need some SEO help, Avery.
It was a
Why
top
they
one.
not? No, but Brendan's.
Was I going crazy?
I think you went crazy.
It went to a page, right? That organic listing.
I saw that. That was very strange.
We'll watch the recording. We actually have proof. We'll find out. It's a good question. If it is, that's bad. I assumed you just by mistake clicked on the ad right above it.
All right, great. What do I want to add to cart? Sellers. New tabletop.
Is the site always this slow? Or is your internet terrible, Brendan?
My computer is pretty bad when I go on Google Meet for like doing anything on Facebook. I think it's a mix between my internet and Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. Says I have like only 2 bars right now.
Oh, and if you want, you should be able to. If you want to, you don't have to if you don't want to, but you could make a full purchase with your credit card, and it'll get automatically canceled. Any Adventure PPC email gets automatically canceled. So up to you if you want to do that.
I lost you from audio.
If you want to make a full purchase, it will get automatically canceled.
Really odd. I can't hear you, Avery. I don't know if anybody else is having this issue.
Can you hear me, Andrew?
I can, yeah. That's very cool. How did you set that up? Shopify?
I lost service.
No,
Yep.
Avery said that. Avery said that you can purchase via your Adventure email that automatically gets canceled. Yeah.
I can probably hear you guys now. Somebody say something.
Hello?
Good. All right. So
I was just saying, Brendan, you can make a purchase. It will automatically cancel. You don't have to worry about a refund if you want.
How'd you set up that?
I don't know. The client set it up any Adventure PPC email. Isaac actually tried making an order a few months ago and then realized a couple weeks later that it got canceled because it was automatically canceled. So it's funny. But either way. So yes.
So
I don't
see any server-side events being processed, which is a little bit alarming. Doesn't look like you're tracking server-side events. Typically, when you're processing these, who'd you have set this up? Or how
It was a while ago. It could be it was even before like I knew much about conversion API. So it could be it's totally set up wrong.
So yeah, I guess maybe
Probably a year ago.
Probably have somebody check this out. If it's set up through Tag Manager, because it does say partner integration, I mean, I would just have somebody take a peek at it.
I think
What
it was
you
the
want to
Shopify
see,
native integration. Like that was how it was originally set up. Like Shopify had these back a year ago when we were working on this. It was through Shopify.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Still, this should be processed. I had a conversation with Lucian about this yesterday. And even if you have the native Shopify integration, it should be processed here. So receive from, and it should have a browser event, a server event, and the server event should be due. But you're not seeing any server events being processed. Unless it's set up through Google Tag Manager. From my understanding with Google Tag Manager, you have to test in a different way. Moving along now. I just take a peek at that. What I have been doing is breaking this down in a similar method. We're just going to dive into the actual audit now, what's going on and what's running in the campaign. This is like from a performance standpoint more so than anything. So when you're speaking to clients, you can have a conversation with them and describe to them what's going on in Facebook. Really, what I look at is a couple different metrics, most of them dealing with getting users to site and how effective you are in terms of getting users to site. Then I break it down by conversion rate. Then I actually look at, with an e-commerce account, I would look at average order value to see what's going on there. So I create a couple custom columns. So I do, this isn't an accurate column. I don't know why, but it's not. I look at landing page views to link clicks. This will tell you a couple different things. Landing page to link clicks it's a metric that describes the ability for a user who's interacting with your ad to actually land on the landing page. A pretty good landing page to link click ratio would be something above 70%. That's describing that if a user's clicking on an ad, 70% of that time, they're actually driving directly to your website. The other reason that this is important is because you're actually paying per click to your ad, not necessarily click to your landing page. So everything that's being processed, whether, in terms of a click to an ad, a click to your actual Facebook page, or a click to your website, you're paying for. So I like to look at this as a gauge and a metric to describe how efficient you are in terms of driving users from your ad to your site, because you can't get a user to convert in any other way unless you have a Facebook shop set up. So there's a couple, and yeah.
Quick question: when does the landing page view fire? Is there a specific duration on site?
It's when the pixel loads. So a user could click to site. So this is another reason why it's a good metric. If you have a really slow mobile site speed and a user is bouncing before the pixel is processed, similar to GA, where you're not even necessarily getting the click until the container loads, right? Until your tag loads on the page.
Right. Oh, okay. So it's like a lot of it is like troubleshooting, making sure everything's kind of operating properly. And if you're seeing a really low percentage on this rating, something's off.
Yeah. For example, something like these traffic campaigns, the reason they're probably so low, and Avery, correct me if I'm wrong, is they're driving traffic to directions or to get directions or something along those lines. Is that true? Are they trying to get users into physical store locations? Can you, what's the action you have the user take from these ads?
Yeah, I think just directions, I'm pretty sure.
So that's why this is likely so low. I mean, this one's higher than all the others at 25%, but these are likely so low because what you're actually driving for a conversion action is not a click to your landing page. It's a click to get directions. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, meaning, so besides for those variations of traffic in store, what would be the decrease for dynamic retargeting? Those 14% of clicks that don't go to that doesn't fire in the landing page, right? The 86% are getting that feature is because it was quickly bounced, or they didn't even get to the site. They clicked on the ad, and then before the pixel even loaded, they left.
So it's either one of those two. I look at it I look at this along with a lot of other metrics. So what I look at in terms of this is I just use it for a gauge. And then if you're seeing a really low, landing page view to link click, or link click to landing page view ratio, it could be you're not defining a clear CTA, your ad's not compelling, users just interacting with your ad, or it could be something like mobile site speed. I would test mobile site speed if I saw a terrible ratio here. Okay, so like I said, I look at this in unison with a lot of different metrics as well. So I look at click-through rate, for example, how effective you are, and I don't believe this is a custom metric, no. Link click-through rate. So for each impression, how frequent are people actually clicking to your ad? You want to have a decently high interaction, but you also have to keep in mind that you don't want just people interacting to interact. You want to see a relationship between this being somewhat high and actually users driving to your site. There's not much more to that. This is just surrounding metrics to this that I look at. From there, and I don't know if I have all the custom columns pulled up. I might have to pull up some additional ones. I would look at something like conversion rate and cost per landing page view. I think these are the biggest metrics to look at overall in terms of how you're driving users to site. One thing I'd mention is, I don't know if this is this a conversions campaign, Avery, for this dynamic retargeting minimum ROAS?
Yeah, it should be, yeah. Yep.
This is the most, like, these cost per landing page views are the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. How are you getting such a low cost per landing page view? I don't know what you're doing, because like typically when you're running a conversions campaign, they set between like anywhere between like $3 to like $7, especially for retargeting. Right now, what we're seeing for Asurion for a conversions campaign is like a $10 cost per landing page view, and that's not that absurd. Like, I've seen conversion rates. My concern with this campaign right now is, and this is what I'm getting at, is there is such a thing on Facebook, I believe, as a premium ad auction. Right now, you're essentially being charged based off of Facebook's belief in the audience to convert. So I look sometimes at, you know, something like a high cost per landing page view, and if I see a high conversion rate to accompany that, I believe that I'm in a premium auction. I'm targeting a really good audience because it's the same thing as Google. If I am paying a lot for cost per landing or cost per click on Google, and I'm seeing a really high conversion rate from those users, I believe I'm in a premium auction. You're paying a lot to get these users to the site because there's a translation between they're your most bottom of funnel audience, they're going to be the most likely to convert. So distinctly for this retargeting campaign, I am a little bit nervous because the cost per landing page view is so low. Like, it's lower, it's almost as low as your dynamic prospecting, which maybe just has really power. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious if you look like at a month that was considered good, let's say like November, when like wasn't much higher, or let's say even October.
Well, November is going to be a lot higher, I would assume, because of Black Friday also.
Right, let's do comparison November, October like that. Yeah, let's see what we got here.
You're still seeing a really low cost per landing page view, which might be just because of the notoriety of the brand, like if you're targeting this audience. But you are, so this is the thing, this is exactly what I was describing. November, comparatively speaking to all the other months that we looked at, had about a 10 to 14 cent increase in terms of your cost per landing page view, but you're converting users at a much more effective rate than you have over any of the other months, right? A 3% conversion rate compared to, been pretty consistently at a 0.1 conversion rate. What that translates to me is, I mean, I would rather pay, you know, I'd pay up to $1 more if I'm getting a 3% increase in conversion rate. I would look more distinctly at like some of the audiences that you're targeting. If there's like an audience that really stands out, my assumption is I don't know if you're using multiple ad targets, but one of them is going to be a lot higher and it's going to be pulling conversion rate in a lot more efficiently. Yeah, abandoned cart, 21 days, your conversion rate's at 7, but you're paying like almost double what the average is in the account, which makes sense. Facebook algorithm is going to target a smaller pool, or the smaller the pool gets, the more demand you're saying that you'll have for this audience, and it's going to start to charge you more. Same thing as, you know, a really good prospecting audience. Sometimes you find just a random prospecting audience that are really effective in terms of driving conversions. Typically what happens there is that you're paying more for the cost per landing page view because other audiences want this, or other companies want this audience as well. Does that make sense to everybody here? And I know, Simone, you have a question.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Why such a low landing page cost per landing page view is bad? Because that audience is a lower quality audience, or why? Why is a bad sign?
I mean, that's a good question. I think it's compared to what you typically see on average. But if I was to go into a different account, I was to look at cost per landing page view for some audiences it's just going to naturally gravitate. If you're getting these users to convert, they're probably a better quality audience for your product, and you're going to be spending more. It's just like the way that this naturally falls. It's very similar to the way CPCs work on Google Ads. If you're getting a higher conversion rate, it's typically because you're more bottom of funnel and you're typically paying more for cost in terms of CPC. Facebook operates in the same way as Google with auctions. You still have an auction present. There's other things that affect your auction in terms of your cost per landing page view, which I'm going to get into, or I'm going to try to get into. But these are just like things to consider, right? Outside of this, there is essentially a quality score on Facebook ads that determines your cost per landing page view, which is determined at the ad set level. If you ever notice, there's 3 distinct columns that measure your ads efficiency. It's ad relevance, it's ad quality, and it's anticipated conversion rate. So if I was to go into one of these campaigns and I was to look at, abandoned cart, you should be able to see this at the ad level right here. Quality ranking, engagement ranking, so ad relevance. They're all ad relevance, but this is currently not populating. It's just based off of the amount spent and the auctions that you entered into. There's not enough data on it, historically speaking. But
and do you know the best practices to optimize the quality ranking?
So the quality ranking I anticipate is more so based off of the actual quality of the ad, like the resolution. That's what I've found in research. Like the quality ranking is based off of like your visuals, like the resolution on them, the quality of the ad, the quality of the video.
Okay.
It's really difficult also for some of these to get above like average. Like if you have above average, it's probably, there's only 3 determinations: below average, average, and above average. But it's pretty difficult to get above average, just because you have to think about the people who are advertising compared to our clients. Like Nike's on here, they probably have above average in terms of the resolution and everything on their ads. Right, if you use a UGC content, like somebody recording on their camcorder or something like this, it's going to be below average, likely. Engagement rate ranking is based off of your estimated click-through rate or your engagement with the ad. So like, are users drawn into it? Do they expect to see a high click-through rate, high interaction rate with your ad? Conversion rate ranking is based off of the auctions that you're entering into. I think it's compared to other people who are also entering those auctions. How likely is your product and your ad to convert? So it's the same thing as Google Ads when you think about it that way.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So that actually leads into how can you lower your cost per landing page view? You can test out different ad audiences. If you expand your audience, you're likely going to in turn see a lower cost per landing page view because you're expanding the pool that you're targeting. If you make changes to your ad in a positive direction, which sounds simpler than it actually is, that's going to help you to lower your cost per landing page view. Is there any questions about that in terms of determining like cost per landing page view? Yeah, I think the biggest thing to think about is like how these things interact. So like if I'm noticing like increase in terms of my cost per landing page view, and I'm not seeing a change in conversion rate, and I'm seeing an increase in frequency, that just might be because it's getting more difficult for me to actually get these users to engage with my ad, and those metrics that we were just describing are impacted. That's right. If you notice, if your frequency starts to climb, typically your cost per landing page view is also going to start to climb because it's becoming more difficult for users to interact with these ads. I know we're like at time, and I know Avery has a hard stop. Is there any questions I can address? And this isn't the end of what I wanted to
I'm curious
about,
what you would do to review like drops in performance, right? Other than just looking at, okay, this went bad over time, or what you would dial into to try to figure out any causes for changes in performance.
Yeah, so if I was to do something like that, I would look at, I'd look at these columns, right, in terms of change over time. Like, is your cost per landing page view dropping? Are you extending reach? Is there any changes to frequency? Is there any changes to conversion rate? And then I make a determination based off of that. So like over time, if I saw something like the cost per landing page view start to creep up and continue to creep up, and your conversion rate started to drop and your frequency started to climb, my anticipation would be that you either need an ad refresh or that you need to adjust your audience to expand it, or just test out a new audience because you're hitting that audience too frequently and your cost per landing page view is just climbing. If you had an audience that was working somewhat decently, and then you noticed a decrease in terms of your cost per landing page view, but also a decrease in conversion rate, it's likely that something changed in terms of the algorithm, which has been happening more recently, where like you have a good audience and then something like that happens, and Facebook's losing its ability to understand what users inside of that audience are going to convert. The interesting thing to also think about from that point of view is that your reach on an audience typically doesn't amount to the full size of the audience. It's only a small subset of the users inside that group that Facebook believes is going to convert. I don't know if there's any questions. I don't also know if this is incredibly helpful, but I think it just to like start to think about like some of the columns that you can utilize is positive, because you can speak, I think better on calls to clients, right? Like I think we're pretty good at speaking to what's happening in Google Ads to a client, but like getting into Facebook, and some of this isn't an exact science, but I think it will just help you speak to what's actually going on in the account more accurately.
No, this is super helpful. So thank you so much. What I noticed is that...
Okay, I have to jump, but thanks, Brendan.
Yeah.
And keep the recording, Andrew. Bye.
One thing I noticed is that it's super difficult to get out of the learning phase with low budgets, like $50 daily or $30 daily or $60 daily. And most of the clients, they want to run several campaigns. And I noticed that.
So yeah, that's why Facebook also advocates on consolidation. Like if they're going to run multiple, it's not ideal for them to run multiple campaigns with that low of a budget because of that issue. What's happening there, and the reason why you're not able to lower your cost per landing page view, is what I just described. With $50 a day, it's going to try to it's on a max conversion bid strategy. So it's going to try to target a group of users inside of your audience target that it believes is going to maximize the amount of conversions that happen during a given period. So in doing that, you're entering premium auctions and your cost per landing page view is going to start to increase.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the key is audience consolidation.
Yeah, I would say audience consolidation, and then also ad consolidation. If something like that's happening, you might want to use something like dynamic ads, so you can just optimize for the lowest cost per landing page view.
Dynamic ads? What do you mean with dynamic ads?
Dynamic ads
DPAs?
were entering multiple. What?
DPA? Dynamic product ads? Or
no, just dynamic ads where you enter into multiple creatives in one ad set, or in one ad,
okay.
And it just optimizes the rotation. It's essentially a responsive search ad on Facebook.
Okay, I see. Okay. Got it.
You could do that. On a prospecting level, you could probably do that with all of your products, right? If you have, etc. That's based off catalog. I'm not talking distinctly the catalog. There's two different things. There's catalog ads that are dynamic that will show based off of Facebook's belief to get the user to convert, and there's dynamic ads. But either way, if you have a broad target, and it's like, I don't know, hypothetically speaking,
so
it's rap artists or an interest in a rapper, right? If you have a Snoop Dogg interest target, just optimize with, I would optimize with a bunch of images of Snoop Dogg. and wearing different products. Maybe tag them in the caption or in the headline, or carousel ads in the headline.
Yeah, that is something that I like to know. Like, apart from dynamic product ads, do you prefer setting up carousel or collection ads? Which format is best in your opinion?
You want to test 3 to 5 ads per ad set if you're not doing dynamic ads. So I'd do a mix. It's also going to create liquidity. So the same concept in terms of liquidity, by testing out multiple different groups, you're allowing Facebook to test out multiple different ads and let the best ads win out. Like I try to test single image ads, short video, long video, carousel ads.
Okay.
I try to test them all.
Well, yeah. Now, what I feel with is that we have a low budget, and then we have 3 ad sets, and each.
What's your budget per day?
It depends on the campaign, of course, but like let's say 100.
What do you mean? Why does it depend on the campaign?
Sorry, like.
Why does it depend on the campaign?
Because we
You just said you had
more budget
21
for middle of the funnel, and we allocate more budget to bottom of the funnel.
Why do you allocate more budget to bottom of funnel? Like how big's their user base? Because you have to think about that. Like I'd go into Google Analytics and see how many, active users they have on site, and then make the determination from there. Depends on what you're prioritizing. Like, are you prioritizing your customer acquisition or?
I'm pushing middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel because we saw that the ROAS was much higher than top of the funnel. Cold audiences.
That makes sense though, because the remarketing audience. You know what I mean? You should I don't know. Like those users, yeah.
And in order to retarget the users, we need to have also, we need to target cold audiences as well. But we clearly see that cold audiences convert. The performance is much lower than middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel. So we are trying to convert the traffic that visit our website, that have interacted with our social media channels, or anyway. I will create dynamic product ads and see how they perform, because I think we need to do something different.
I would look at the top of funnel more distinctly and just test a bunch of audiences. Like essentially describe to them, if they haven't been running on Facebook that often or that long, and they don't have a good top of funnel, like cultivated out, it's getting really difficult to develop that. Like you need to develop a top of funnel on Facebook and then work down, right? Work down the funnel.
Yeah.
You want to work users down the funnel. Like I don't want you to run into a situation where you start to see like a 15 frequency on bottom of funnel because you're not prospecting at the top. Even if it's just like pushing, and me and Lucian were having a conversation about this, like you can push to engage users and push them down the funnel, right? You could run a top of funnel video view campaign, make it a long video, make sure that it's somewhat difficult for users to quote unquote convert from that video, right? If you wanted to get users to, interact and, gain their attention, use a powerful video that's a little bit longer, 3 minutes or so, and put it at the top funnel. Then you have a really powerful remarketing audience off of that. Because if a user interacts and watches, 2 minutes and 30 seconds of that video, or watches 75% of that video, which I don't know off the top of my head what that would be, then you have a really powerful audience to remarket to, and then you're pushing the users down the funnel. And then you hit them with, a different ad. Maybe you hit them with an ad of Snoop Dogg because then you want to represent brand notoriety in the middle of the funnel, and then you're advertising based off product set at the bottom of the funnel, something like that. I really can't emphasize enough. Like you need to be prospecting the same way that you're really prospecting on Google.
Yeah,
you need to develop new user base. So
It makes sense. We are testing different audiences. We are testing different creatives, and we are doing what you just have mentioned. We have a long video, in order to filter out our audience, and yeah, we do all that. But
All right, I have to jump.
Yeah.
I do have to jump. Sorry.
Right.
But I mean, I would do this again if Avery asked me. I think this is useful, like to describe this. And,
Yeah, super useful.
If somebody like came to me, I think it would have been better for like me to do, because like I don't exactly know everything. I just wanted to give you guys what I look at to determine a successful campaign right now.
Yeah, totally. It was super useful. So thank you so much. Thank you, Brendan.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.